Johanna Bormann is a woman who went down in history as a concentration camp supervisor. She began her career in the National Socialist Party back in the 1920s. Johanna was a person who perfectly carried out the orders of her superiors. She was responsible for many cases related to the economic issues of the party, as well as organizing mass events. Johanna Bormann is one of the most mysterious figures of Nazi Germany. Born on September 10, 1893, she was the youngest of 4 children. Her father was an artist and her mother was a housewife. As a child, Johanna showed interest in public life and politics, but her passion for nationalism and anti-Semitism manifested itself in her youth. During the 1920s, Johanna actively participated in the political life of Germany. She was one of the leaders of the women's branch of the NSDAP, organized propaganda events and spoke at rallies. In 1938, she joined the SS Auxiliary Service to earn money. Initially, she worked at the Lichtenberg concentration camp, then began supervising the work of staff at the Ravensbrück concentration camp near Berlin. In 1942, she became the supervisor of the Auschwitz concentration camp in Poland. Johanna Bormann's childhood and youth reflect her passion for politics and nationalism. She is an example of how passion for Nazi ideology can push a person to commit crimes. Despite her small stature, petite and slender figure, Johanna was known for her strength, aggression, cruelty, and fearlessness. She was a member of the SS Women's Auxiliary Battalion and worked closely with Rudolf Hess in the leadership of the women's death camps. Her appearance, as well as her personality, raised many questions. Describing Johanna Bormann, eyewitnesses noted her strange beauty, thick eyebrows under a high forehead, large black eyes, a straight nose, narrow tightly closed lips and a messy hairstyle. According to the prisoner's memories, her face always had an expression of indifference and coldness, which caused others to feel fear. She was always accompanied by big dogs, and she took incredible pleasure in setting dogs on defenseless prisoners. Johanna Bormann's strict, refined appearance could not hide the terrible crimes she committed in the concentration camp. She was responsible for numerous executions and torture of prisoners, as well as for conducting medical experiments on humans. Johanna Bormann is a name that has caused fear and disgust in people for decades. This woman was a guard of many concentration camps during the Second World War. Together with other Nazi criminals, she participated in terrible crimes against humanity. She was known for her cruelty and inhumanity in the treatment of prisoners. Johanna not only guarded the camp, but also took part in the executions of prisoners. In her testimony during the arrest of Johanna Bormann, she admitted that she had witnessed many murders that were committed in the concentration camp. She not only stood by and watched it, but also participated in the commission of crimes herself. During the greatly increased losses of the Wehrmacht, Johanna Bormann found herself in the Hindenburg auxiliary camp, and in March 1945 she arrived at the Bergen-Belsen concentration camp. She serves there with Irma Gries, Elisabeth Vulkenrath, and other famous Nazi criminals. In 1945, British troops liberate Bergen-Belsen. 10,000 dead bodies and 60,000 surviving prisoners are found in the camp. The bodies of the British Army arrest and interrogate Johanna Bormann. In the autumn of 1945, the Belsen trial begins, the first group case of the administration and staff of the Nazi concentration camp after the German surrender. It lasts until November 1945. The court hears her testimony on the murders committed in Auschwitz and Bergen-Belsen. She says that she set a big evil wolfhound, a German shepherd, on people. The court finds her guilty of the crimes and sentences her to death by hanging. Together with her colleagues, Johanna Bormann will be executed in December. Later, crying Albert Pierpoint recalled that at the age of 52, the woman looked old and haggard. She was about 5 feet tall. When measuring her height, she trembled, saying in German that she had feelings. After the warden was hanged, she was buried in Hamelin prison. In 1954, she was reburied at the AMWEL cemetery. Crosses were installed in the cemetery, but after discussions the iron crosses were removed. Only the field remained at the grave. Like other participants in the terrible events, the woman remained in an unmarked grave. Johanna Bormann was responsible for many crimes, as well as for numerous experiments on humans. She was known for her sophisticated methods of torture. Although the death of Johanna Bormann may seem the most natural and deserved execution, it also causes numerous controversies and debates. Some believe that Johanna Bormann's death was unfair, and that she should have been sentenced to life imprisonment instead of execution. Others say that she deserved a much harsher punishment than just execution. In any case, the death of Johanna Bormann through the gallows was the final act of her life full of cruelty and crimes. Johanna Bormann's life was associated with one of the darkest periods in German history. Her name became a symbol of the cruelty and ruthlessness of the Nazi regime. Like other cruel personalities of Auschwitz, her life was cut short after the war. The story of the cruel Punisher reminds us that we must remain vigilant and fight against all forms of violence and lawlessness in order to never again allow such terrible events as war and genocide. Thanks a lot for watching. Friends, subscribe to my channel and like it. Also write in the comments on which topic to make the next video.